Bald eagle around. Yep, there's the eagle off to the right.
After all that craziness and the stress of the van fire, we finally can get out and do a little wildlife tour. Unfortunately, Mark wasn't feeling so great and he couldn't join us. Well, good morning, Story Chasers. I'm here with Shay. You finally get to meet her.
Hi, friends.
And we have Jackson and Lily. And we are on the rainbow tours out here in Homer, Alaska. We finally get to see some wildlife, and I think there's some puffins. What else is out here? No glaciers on this tour, right?
You might see orcas.
Okay, orcas, so...
And my grandma.
And lots of birds, puffins, hopefully.
Puffins, yeah. I haven't seen puffins yet. I was in Maine where they have puffins, and I didn't get to see them when I was there.
Same.
Yeah. Cool. So we're excited. It's going to be chilly out on the water, hence the jackets. Well, I don't have my jacket on yet, but Shay's all prepared.
In the winter wear.
Yeah, the winter wear. Lily's prepared. We left the Homer Spit Kachemak Bay aboard Rainbow Tours to catch some wildlife scenes and also stop in Seldovia for some lunch and sightseeing.
Common murres are the deep diving specialists of the seabird world. They commonly forage 100 to 200 feet deep, sometimes down to 300. And they have been found as deep as 600 feet. Pretty unbelievable for a bird. Scientists and things don't actually know how they forage down that deep because there's no light down there. But they do manage to go down and find themselves some food. These murres will be here during the day, and in the evening they will, there they go off the rocks. There must be a bald eagle around. Yep, there's the eagle off to the right. That's what scared all those birds off the rocks.
Wow. I'm trying to get him.
I only saw one puffin in the water, lots of various birds, one sea otter, and the beautiful Kachemak Bay State Park mountains. It felt so incredible to be out on the water, even though it was still hazy from all the smoke from the fire. I love this, being on the water and enjoying the cool air and some much needed relaxation.
But I did want to point out the difference in the water up here. And we're not really going up on a sandbar. It's 220 feet deep. But this is just a glacial silt water. And this doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. It's typically about 3 or 4 feet of glacially silted water. This is all coming off of the McKeon River, which is just off to our left. We'll just go out here and then eventually just blend in. That's what makes Kachemak Bay such a nice, pretty green color that you see in the water right here. Seldovia used to be, before the 1964 earthquake, Seldovia was known as the Boardwalk City of Alaska. After the earthquake, the whole area here dropped down in elevation, sank about 5 to 6 feet. So all their boardwalks that used to be along the waterfront and all their waterfront buildings and things were all going underwater at high tide.
So we're over here in Seldovia now, off of the Rainbow Tour. You can see how much the tide is out. I'm a little out of breath because I had to walk up this very steep incline because the tide is out. And that's the other one. Shay and I, along with the dogs, found this cute little cafe called Linwood Grill right on the water. We started chatting with a gentleman and his daughter sitting next to us, and come to find out, he's from Clovis, New Mexico, a typically unknown town, and knows some of my extended family from the area. What a small world to meet somebody from Clovis, New Mexico, all the way in Alaska. It actually sparked a great conversation, and I was able to reconnect with some of that extended family back in Clovis. This was such a great day after all the mess of the van fire. I am so grateful for Mark and Shay being there when the van fire happened and how quickly Mark sprung into action. I'm eternally grateful for their help and support, and I've loved every minute of my trip, except for the fire, down in Homer, Alaska with them. Not too long after our wildlife cruise, it was time to say goodbye to Mark and Shay and Homer and head to Anchorage to grab my mail. The wildfires were even worse coming back through, and I had to wear my lovely mask for almost an hour of driving so I could breathe a little bit better. So we're off to the Fairbanks area. We're on Denali State Highway, or Denali Highway. The road so far is like pretty decent, but we are headed to Fairbanks so we can meet up with Gordon on Thursday. He's going to fix my van after that fire. And I'm so appreciative of Gordon for coming up here because it saves me a drive from going to San Francisco to meet him. And my batteries need to be charged definitely by something other than just the sun because I'm just not getting enough. Even with just 250 watts of solar on top, it's just not enough to charge those batteries when there's smoke in the air and it's raining or cloudy, which it has been lately. So definitely had to switch gears a little bit and realize that I couldn't just charge my batteries with solar, especially on those days when it's cloudy. You can see my Google Maps that I'm using to get towards Fairbanks. You see all that white? When the Google satellite went over, it was apparently wintertime here because look at all that ice. I had to bypass Denali National Park on this trip because I didn't plan very well. Well, let's face it, I rarely plan. You can't travel through the park in your RV or vehicle and instead need to take buses and probably stay in the campground. The campgrounds were completely booked up by the time I realized this nuance, so now I know for the next time. Gordon from Edge Van Works was so kind to fly up to Fairbanks and fix my van and get me back on the road with that second alternator working again. I am so grateful to him, and I really appreciate what he has done, not only for me, but for our Heimer community. So thank you so much, Gordon. So emotionally, I was just feeling really down, and you know, I'm not one to complain. I never have on this channel. I'm a very positive person, but for some reason I just couldn't pull myself out of this whole like funk, if you will,